Welcome back, everybody, to Unconditional Surrender Europe, game designed by Salvatore Vasta, published by GMT Games. This is the German Diplomatic Disaster series, next one in line. I will apologize ahead of time. I had a connection issue near the end of the September turn, or the August turn, beginning of September turn. So some of the Russian moves, ground moves and stuff, will not be recorded, but you will see the final result of that. With that in mind, let's just get right into it and start moving along. It's fair weather because it's August. Just so you know, we're in August. Next turn we'll start rolling for units to come in. And so there was no declarations of war. We go into the economy phase and we're just setting our points. I gave a point to the Romanians. And then we went into strategic warfare. The Russians are at 0 and I'm at, actually at +2 and I'm at 0. I rolled a 2 and he rolled a 1. +2 is a 3, so nothing happened. Then the defender went to 0 and the attacker went to 2. And then he played, let me get this out of the way. He played his ultra marker, which he had just received this turn, or at the end of last turn. And so I was 5 + 2, which became 3.5, which became a 4. Not bad for having to be halved. But then he rolled a 6. So that's enough to force me to lose a factory. And he regains 1. So, and then he rolled a 1 to get his thing back next turn, which was very good for him. When we go to strategic movement, it being August, and I'm going to zoom out here so it's a little bit less jumpy. It is August, and I only have the one armor that's going to become active this turn. So what I did is I grabbed another armor, and then I can rail it all the way up to there because he doesn't have a unit in Cernati, just an airplane, so no zone of control. And that was to prevent him from railing a unit into Cernati, because I didn't want to have to actually fight him for that town. And then in the western phase, he went ahead and took the Western Desert Force and moved it up to hold some ground up on the toe of Italy. And then the Soviets took the guy in Velaluki and tried to figure out where he wanted to put it and ended up putting it there on the river. So we go into Axis operations. I let him think about it for a little bit. Obviously, I have to try and take down some of the Russian airplanes. So I'm at a net -2. He's at -4. I have a net of 4. And he rolled 3, so he ended up with a net of 1. So I took out both of those and got one down here. And then I went up to the north and tried to do it again. I had to make sure I was within range. And I rolled a 1, and he rolled, again, a 1. So we each took 1. And I said, well, that's that. Then I looked at this and said, okay, if I gain some ground, up here in Russia, I could be able to move my airplane up and then maybe take this thing out. So I can have free attacks or whatever. Attacks free from aircraft. So I activated an infantry unit. What did I do? I'm trying to figure out who I'm moving. The 6th Army. Oh, I'm running around here in Italy. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then this guy goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Gets rid of those ports from the... And then I think I went ahead and moved 1, 2, 3, and attacked. So I'm at a net +3. he starts off at +1. He throws in his tanks, so he's at a +3. I rolled a 1 again, and he rolled high enough to just do an AS, so I didn't even get a second attack. So he's got a good hold on the toe of Italy that I'm not likely to get out of there anytime soon. Then I moved this guy I had to move to get him back in supply because I didn't want to have to deal with building them. And then I moved the other guy over to garrison another port in Italy. And now I think I'm over to doing... Yes, I moved the 2nd Infantry here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm attacking for 5, 6. So I have 2 movement points left. And I start off at +4. Oh, I think we're doing combat commitment. We both chose not to commit. I rolled a 4 + 4, which was an 8. He rolled a 2, which is a DD, so that guy was just eliminated. And I chose not to take the hex. I had 2 movement points and I wasn't really sure where to go. I could run back. I could, I could run there or there. I couldn't think of which was the best, so I went ahead and went there. I was trying to limit some of his retreats in the future. Then I think, then I move up my airplane to there. And I believe that I just go ahead and take care of that airplane. Since we're both at 1 sortie, it doesn't matter what we roll. So I can't get this airplane that's way back, the 4-pointer, but he can't cover that many units. So I said, let's just see what I can take care of in the front here. Now, I'm trying to remember. Oh, now I activated the infantry in Brest. Attacked the low supply guy, so he starts off at -2, and I'm a net +3. +2 for German, +2 for isolation, and -1 for the woods. We go to combat commitment. Neither one of us put anything in. So I rolled, again, another 8 net, and he rolled a 3 -2, which is a 1, which basically eliminates that unit, and that's another willpower. I had 5 movement points left when I'm sitting in that hex, so I went 1, 2, 3, and let's attack there. Then we had to go to combat commitment. I did not. He did. He threw in his airplane. He figured, what the heck, I might as well use it. So he went up to a +2. +2 to a +2. I rolled an 8, which is, hey, that's pretty good. But he rolled a 4 + 2, which is a 6, which he said, yeah, but I'm just as good. So he's held his ground. Then I checked my zones of control here, and I realized I had to move a unit. So I activated the 11th, moved it, and then, so now I have this guy isolated. So that's 1, 2, and then 3 movement points left because it takes 3 to attack. And I'm a net +3 to his 0. I think we go to combat commitment. Neither one of us committed. So we go, I'm stuck on this 8. 5 + 3 is an 8. And he rolled a 1, which is a DD result, which kind of put me in a quandary because I wasn't sure what to do now. So I went ahead and thought about places I could end up with my 3 movement points, and decided I was just going to move there to prevent him from retreating into the marshes. There we go. And next up, I think I move an armored unit now. Nope, I guess I'm moving infantry still. So this infantry attacks the 14th. No one, he could commit here, I think. And he did. He threw in his tank. So I was going at +1 to +2. I rolled a 5 plus 1 is a 6. That's pretty good. He managed to roll a 1, which forced a retreat. So I did well there, and then I immediately turned around and said, not going to attack there anymore. I'm going to attack the 21st. And we go to combat commitment. Neither one of us committed. I rolled a 5 plus 2 is a 7, and he rolled a 4, which made him flip. Now I have no movement points left. He's at -2, and I'm at +2. Pretty sure we didn't commit anything here. Yeah. And I managed to roll a 3. He rolled a 5 minus 2, which is a 3, so he did not get eliminated, which annoyed me. So then I moved the 10th Army. Started to think about moving the 10th Army, and then said, wait a minute, I have a better army. I was thinking of getting that same result. So instead I moved the 17th. So that's only 2 and then 3, 4. So I have a couple of attacks to try and get rid of this flipped unit. Unfortunately, he does have a retreat route. He can retreat into Minsk here because it's putting a hex in between us and it's a friendly city. I realized that after I had done this. We're at combat commitment. And I think we just decided mutually that no way we would bother. I rolled a 6 plus 2, which is an 8, and at -2, that's going to be at least a retreat. He managed to roll a 1, so he actually got a DD. And so I eliminated him, took the hex, and then just decided to go ahead and move into taking Minsk. I wouldn't be able to attack, but he moved his airplane away. I got a couple national will off of him. Now I'm kind of running out of units to do here. Next one was to attack to the north. I'm trying to breach the Duna here. We go to combat commitment. And we both committed, so we both threw our tanks markers. And I was +3 to his +2. I rolled a 2 plus 3, which was a 5. A 5 plus 2 is a 7. 5 to a 7 is a diamond, so I did get to make another attack. Put our tanks markers away. But now I'm only +1 to his 0. And I rolled a 2 plus 1 is a 3, and he rolled a 6, so just stopped me cold. So not breaching the Duna today. Then I went ahead and attacked, I believe, with the... Yes, I attacked with the 4th Panzer. And I rolled a 1 plus 2 is a 3, and he rolled a 5, so he AS'd me there, so I didn't get off. I wanted to save the airplane to see if I could, breach him beforehand and save the airplane so I could move it forward, and he just stopped me cold. So he held the Duna, which was, good for him. Next up, I am moving the 1st Panzer up 1 space and attacking across the river at +3 to 0. He doesn't have anything left, so it's a 6 to a 2, which forced a retreat. So then I took the hex and attacked again. Managed to get a 4. He rolled a 2, so he got a retreat again. So I took Kishinev, which took a factory and a thing, and then his airplane. We were checking his airplane; it was out of reach. I couldn't figure out if I wanted to attack the guy in the swamp or attack the guy up here, and I chose to attack the guy across the river. I got a 9 to his 4, which was just a retreat, and I chose not to take the hex because I was just asking to get an armored unit isolated and killed. Then I start moving some Romanians. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I think I move the 14th. 1, 2, His airplane had to fly away again, so away he went. And then 3, 4, 5 into there. So I only had 3 movement points left, but I got some more will points off of him. Went ahead and attacked that infantry unit. That's all I could do. Managed to roll a 4, a net 4. 2 plus 2 is 4. And he was nice enough to roll me another 1, so he got retreated. So, yay. Then, I'm not sure what I'm going to do next. The 10th. The 10th starts running up the railroad, and I've pretty much said, let's go see if I can breach the Duna again. Had 1 attack at +1 to 0. Managed to only roll a 4, and he rolled a 5, so he didn't breach the Duna. And then I think, yeah, I spent my last 2 points here. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6 against that infantry unit because he couldn't retreat. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4. So I had 4 movement points left, and I was +2 to his 0. I managed to only roll a 5. Again, he rolled me a 1. Would like to see some of those 1s on the Duna. So he's flipped because he can't legally retreat, and then I attack again. Get a 5 to a 4, so he's still there. And I do it. My last attack, I get a 6. He rolls a 4 minus a 2, which is a retreat, which he can't do, so he's eliminated. And I thought about whether I wanted to take that hex, and I said, putting him down there, he could possibly get me to be flipped or whatever, and I don't have the points to deal with it. So I said, no, thank you. And then I moved the Romanians, 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5 across the river. And he was isolated, so I started off at +1 to his 0. And I managed to roll a 6 + 1, which was a 7. And he rolled a 1. So that was a DD result. And that made him go away. And the Romanians are doing better than Germans these days. And I believe that's the end of my turn. And I had movement points left, and I was trying to figure out what to do with them. And I said, I'm just going to fill in that hole around the river, not let him get back across it. Then I moved my airplane that was in Belgrade up to Kishinev. Why did I go to 6 sorties? Oh no, this was the airplane that was up here in central Russia, outside of Lvov. I moved him down to Kishinev because I'd moved the one in Belgrade up to take care of the airplane that used to be in Minsk. That's what that is. Okay. And then I think somewhere around here, it's into the Western Operations. He brings the BEF in, and we were talking about, he sent this convoy up to England first. And then he brought the BEF into Messina, or Catania, and pretty much said, I'm done. We go into the Soviet operations. And there was this unit. And before he started moving, he wanted to put down some control markers here to just figure out where he wanted to have units end up. So he was kind of we made some copies of things and let him kind of put things down where he could figure out where he wanted his armies. And then the log file ends here. We are not done with the turns, but this is where I had the connection problems. So I saved the log file, saved the game, and then I'm going to bring up the next log file so you'll see where we pick up. So you're actually going to get to see me close this game. No. And then I'm going to load, go off to my little thing, and load the next vlog. We'll go right down back to Russia. And basically he had finished his moves of his ground units here. And we had already done replenishment. I think we are actually... where are we? Yeah, we had already done September. So I will go over what happened there. I didn't realize that the log file wasn't actually recording when he did his thing. I really think that we are in... yeah, we're in the declaration of war, and then we'll be going to economies here in a second. So what happened is we rolled for our stuff. I had one airplane. It came in 4 turns. He had a whole bunch of shock armies. He got 3 of them to come in 2 turns, and then his other units came in January along with my airplane. And his airplane came in. I could have sworn it was a 2. Maybe it was a 1 and a 3. I thought it was a 2 and a 4, but okay, it was a 1 and a 3. So he'll get his tanks in December, his second tanks, and he gets his second airplane right away in October. So he's going to definitely outclass me in aircraft in the Western Front and Italian Front. There's not a lot I can do about it. Okay, then we're going to economies. I'm down 1, so I'm going to be only at 26. He's at 22, and the Russians are at... they have 12 factories and 1 Ural, so they're at 11, plus 1 is 12, so they're at 24. And that took us through the economy phases. I did not give one to Romania this turn because I was short production points. Strategic warfare, here we go again. The Russians are at +2. Germans are at 0. I managed to roll a 6. He rolled a 3 plus 2 is a 5, so nothing happened. I regained my factory. I was very happy with that. And then in the next phase, he played his Ultra again because he got it right back. So now I'm an 8, halved to a 4. And he rolled a 1. So he actually lost a factory and nothing happened to me. And I did that basically because I wanted to have 28 points as many times as I can in a row. And I believe on the turn track, yes, I get my subs next turn. So that was kind of important. And he rolled a 2 for his Ultra. So it'll be coming back in 2 turns. So hopefully I can stay at 28 for a while here. My thought here is I need to trade, because I'm +2 until the U.S. gets in. Lose 1 in Russia, gain 1 in the West is my thought process there. To try and just keep myself as many factories as I can. Go to strategic movement, and this was a little bit different for me this time. Because what I did is I took this 7th Infantry that I haven't been able to move in the middle of Germany, and I moved him. Where did I move him? Oh, I was trying to figure out where to put him, and I think I ended up putting him up here in the north, in that swamp hex. Retrospect, I probably should have moved it to the south because I'm kind of short of units there, but hey. He did not have one for the west. Didn't want to strategically move the BEF up. He's going to try and attack with it. And then the Soviets took a unit from somewhere and ended up putting it in that river bend, so I would, kind of backing up the Duna again. So that was annoying. It will be at the end of this turn that we're going to discover a mistake that we made in July. But this was me checking his range of his airplanes. So we're in operations phase. Spent 1. I activated the 15th, and this is a legal move because it's 2 different zones of controls. I'm going to show this. just for those that are wondering how I did that. That's this guy's zone of controls, and that's this guy's zone of controls, and they do not overlap. So I'm allowed to move from one to another, and then I have to make my attack. So that's why that works. He didn't see it. I didn't see it until the beginning of this turn. So I'm attacking at a net of +3 to his 0. I only have 2 movement points left. And then he did not commit. Neither I wasn't going to commit because I had the armored unit there that would be able to attack at +4s. Or yeah, it'd be 6 minus 2 +4s. I rolled a 5 plus 3, which is an 8. He rolled a 3, which is a DD, so it's eliminated. I take Riga, and then I go 1, 2. Just because I wanted to limit where this guy could retreat to when I get around to attacking him. So I got to factor in a couple will points there. Then I moved the 10th, 1, 2, and attacked across the river at, again, isolated. So I'm +3 to 0. And I got an 8 to a 5, so that flipped him. So I had to attack a second time. +3 to 0. We didn't do any commitment, so I ended up with a 6, and there was nothing. With a 6 and he's -2, the best he can get's a 4, and that's a retreat, and he has no retreat, so he was eliminated. So he went ahead and did that. And I said, no, thank you for the hex, because I really didn't want to leave him able to get across the Duna with this guy, like in Velaluki, going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then, just giving me headaches. So I chose not to allow that. Then I moved the 4th Panzer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Thought about where I could move him, and that ended up being, I thought, the best place. Then I came to the south and started doing airplane attacks. So it's -2 to -4. 3 is a 1. Boom. So we just ran them up. Then I tried this one at +4 to +3, or -2 to -3. And I rolled a 2, and he rolled a 1. So he took 1, and I took 1, and I think I went ahead and did it again. There was a chance that I could have rolled a 6 there. So I was mistaken. I should have actually rolled the die, and I didn't. Then, and I had the airplane that was up in the north move down to Minsk and finish off that airplane that's towards the front. The one that's further back I can't really get to. So I was kind of stuck there. And this guy moves up and attacks. He's only, should be at +1. There we are, +1. Don't think we commit here. Yeah, we don't commit. So this was just sort of a can I make him retreat move. And, I rolled a 2, +1 is a 3, he rolled a 4, so nothing happened. So I attacked him again. Once again on combat commitment. No, we did not. And I rolled a 1 + 1 is a 2, so can't roll any worse than that. So that army didn't do anything. Trying to figure out what army I move next. Oh, the army that's in Minsk attacks the 27th. And I went ahead and threw my tanks in because I really wanted to push him out of these woods. Again, I'm trying to break the Duna in many places as possible, or maybe run all the way and breach the upper Dnieper. I don't know. Let's see if I get lucky. So I ended up at +3. He did not commit. So I only rolled a 6. He rolled a 2, so he was retreated. He went back. Still wasn't in his airplane, so I went ahead and moved forward 1 and attacked him again. And then I said, nah, we'll just go here and attack him with 3, because that way if he ended up in the clear terrain, I might be able to attack him again. And I rolled a grand total of 4. He rolled a 3. And that was the end of that army's activation. Then I moved 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 left. Doom. I rolled a 4. He rolled a 2. So he was retreated. And then what I did is I attacked to the south and rolled a 2. So it didn't matter what he rolled. He would not be retreated. Then I moved this guy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have 2 movement points left. I'm +2 to 0. He's within range of his airplane, so I didn't have anything I could commit, and he chose not to commit at that point for some reason. I'm not quite sure why. I thought he did, but maybe he didn't. So I rolled an 8. I was doing great, and then he rolled a 6, so he just held his ground. So I spent my last 2, and that's when he throws this airplane now, so that it's a +2 to a +2. I rolled a 5, and he rolled an 8. So the grand offensive in the north broke to the north, took out Latvia and Estonia, but did not do anything with these guys protecting the upper Dnieper. Then I'm not sure where I'm going here. I think it's going to be down here. Yeah. I bring this infantry out and attack. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 4, 5, 6. That's what it is. It's 6 to there, so I have 2 left. +2 to 0. I rolled a 3. He rolled a 5, which is an AS. So then the Panzer came out and said, okay, my turn. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5 there. And I believe at this point, oh no, he hasn't used his tanks yet this turn. So sooner or later here, he's going to use his tanks. I had 5 movement points left. And he didn't commit, and I didn't have anything to commit. So 7 to 3 was a retreat. I was annoyed. So I come after him again. And he throws his tanks this time. So now it's a +4 to a +2. I did roll a 10. I'm like, yay, good number. But he rolled a 5, which makes him only have to retreat. So I'm down to having 1 movement point left after this. So I went ahead and just, go for broke, see if I could get him. Don't think he played his tanks here. I rolled a 9, he rolled a 6, which was just a retreat. And I said, well, I'm not going to stick the tank out that far. I'm going to go here. And that's because then I can activate the Africa Army. 1, 2, 3. Thought about 4 there and then said, no, wait, I want to do 4 here because then I get him isolated. So then I'm +3 to his 0. And I rolled a 7 to a 5, so he was fine. And I get 1 more attack. And +3 to 1. Not sure what happened to his... Not sure why he didn't play his other tanks marker. Oh, I know what he was saving it for. The 5 to 1, I had rolled the 8 before he had said whether he was going to commit his tank or not. And I told him, no, we're going to roll this again because it's not fair to you for me to get a DD with the 8 when you could have thrown the tank and then you might have used up the resource and still gotten a DD. And he was like, huh, what? And I was like, no, I'm not going to make you have to take that die roll because I rolled too fast. And that's why I said, I rolled too fast, not counts. So then we rolled it again, and I rolled a 7, and he rolled a 4, so he was retreated. That's what that's all about. Sense of fair play on my part. Then I moved this guy up. He had just enough to... Either Romanian would have only had enough for 1 attack, but I did have a ground support marker, I think. So I'm starting off at +1 because he's isolated, +2, -1 for the city. And then I threw on my ground support, which gave me a +2 to his -2. And then I rolled a 4, which I was like, typical Romanians. But he managed to roll a 4, -2, which was a 2, which is a retreat, which you can't do, so he's eliminated. And the Romanians take Odessa. Yay. And managed to kill another army. And then, of course, I rolled a 6 for the ground support, so it's not coming back in like forever. And then I moved the armor that's in Sarnate. 1, 2. Down the rail line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, attacked into Kiev. I'm only a +3. 3 more to go into Kiev, so that's 9. So it's +3 to his 0. I don't think either one of us had anything left. Oh yeah, he had a tanks. That's what he saved his tanks for. So now it's a +3 to a +2. I rolled an 8, which I thought, oh, that's not bad. He rolled a 5 right along with me. +2 is a 7, so he holds Kiev. And then I spent this to go up here. And the reason why I did this is because, based on the zones of control I had, this 14th Army, if I hadn't done this, could have gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and like surrounded this infantry and giving him possibly an isolated attack on it, and I didn't want to give him that. Don't want him running through the swamps. They're hard enough to get out of the swamps. So I'm only +1 to 0. Rolled a 5. He rolled a 3, which was enough to force him to retreat. I took the hex, and that was it. I was done. Then I started moving Yugoslavs. I moved a garrison unit into another port. And then I moved my last point for the Germans, just put that garrison in Marseille, trying to at least make him have to spend roll a die to take a hex kind of thing. Then we go into Western operations, which is going to be pretty much down here. Oh no, I know what he's going to do now. He's bringing the fighter command is coming out there, and I'm attacking him with my ship. What are we doing? Oh no, he wasn't bringing fighter command. He was bringing the Med Fleet guys with first RAF that has no sorties. And I came after him with my... What the heck is going on? Oh, he moved the first convoy out first. And then I attacked him with my surface action fleet against his move into the North Atlantic. So I'm +1 and he's +2. So I need a ridiculous split, which I get a 7. I'm like, yay! And he got a 6. So I took a sortie, he got through, and I go on the turn track 2 turns down the road, and he just finishes his move into Catania. The airplane and the convoy should each take a sortie. And then he goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to attack the 9th. And he's going to do an assault, and then he added a sortie to his airplane, threw it in his tanks, because I have nothing to throw. And we highlighted the guy not going across the ridge as the primary, so he's +3 because he thinks he's an armored unit, +1 for a buddy, +2 for an aircraft. I think we started over because I wasn't sure if I counted right. Right, he ended up at +6 -1 because it's a mountain or a rough terrain. So then he rolled a 1, thank God, and I rolled a 5. +2 is a 7, so we kind of stopped that attack for this turn. He was worried that if he went there, I could somehow, cut him off or something. I was like, I don't think so. So we were just talking about how things could retreat. That's why we're moving counters around there. So, then I think he's done. He's just doing his supply thing. Moves the med fleet back to England, and then he brings down a convoy, drops it off in Gibraltar, transported Gibraltar into Gibraltar, and then brought the convoy over there. And then he does supply. And all right. And then we go to the Soviets. And I think this is where, yes, if you back up a space. He went and actually accidentally opened up this card and found out that he had put an armored here, or an army here. That was actually done back in July. And it's just been a little too long for us to be able to retcon that, so I think we're just going to play on. Then we checked his wills marker to make sure we had the right count. He started at 97, and I've taken out 15 armies and 20 points in cities, so he's down 35, so he's 62 is where he should be. And I think I correct this in a minute. He should be at 62. If not, I will correct it before we start again. Anyway, he is moving armies around here. Basically, he's figuring it's a 1 in 6 chance that I'm going to get fair weather. So he's sort of bolstering up the defenses here. Because he knows he has like 6 armies to build or something like that. He has a ridiculous number of armies to build. So he's just kind of getting in all the good places, defending all the bends and things that he thinks he has to defend, and he's done. So we rip through the no supply. Axis only has 9 points left, so they just do their airplanes. And he does his British here. I think he takes his med fleet down as well. It was important that he maintain at least 6 build points for the British. Or no, he built all that stuff last turn. So he didn't need to save any build points. That's what that was. Okay. And then the Russians have more than enough points to do their stuff. So they go take care of their airplanes. There was no upgrades, mobilization. Nobody has anything that can be built until... I have an army that I can build, a garrison, but I can't get the points to build it, so it's just been sitting there for, like, since the conquest of Italy in the German production box. Soviets spend 7 and start building guys. 1 goes in Leningrad. Oh, sorry. 1 in Veliluki. 1 in Kiev. 1 in Depnostrik. 1 in Smolensk. I'm not sure where the 7th one went. Oh, I think it goes down here in Kharkov. Yeah, it goes down here in Kharkov. So he got armies all over the place. It looked like a really thin red line, and then it's like, here's all these armies backing up everything he can do. It's annoying. And there's no diplomacy. Victory check. We go to end of turn phase. And this is us just getting our stuff on the faction cards. I got a tanks and my subs. He got moved his Russian armies into mobilization, picks up his tanks markers, gets his Urals factory goes up by 1, so now he's up to 2. So, and the British aircraft goes into the mobilization box, and we're in October. And we're ready for the weather phase, and as is our wont, we roll the weather before we end the night, as we were going to call it here. Been a long night here. And so we roll the weather, and lo and behold, the rains do not come in October for the Russians. I got a fair weather in Russia and poor weather in the other two. So cold zone went fair, then mild and warm are both poor. That does mean I will have poor weather or severe in November, and then I will have 3 severe weather turns in December, January, and February, because this will be the Russian winter. So I have 1 turn here to try and kill some Russian armies. That's the way I look at it. As you can see, I'm not trying to make long pushes to grab things. If they're there, I grab them, especially if they involve taking factories. But right now, it's like, how many Russian armies can I kill? He's back far enough that I don't think I can get that many. I'm hoping to get maybe 2 or 3. I would love to get 5, but I don't think I have the legs to get 5. And that is where we're going to end this turn. So there you have it. Kind of sign of a disjointed thing. We did make a mistake. We've made a couple of them along the way, but we've made so many die rolls in between the mistakes that I don't think we can retcon them. So anyway, I'm Dren608. If you like my videos, please subscribe. Hit that like button so the videos stay up on YouTube for everybody to see. And until we see you again, stay safe and bye-bye.